The godfather of the West Coast, now you know. With Dusty Vision on the side, we ride. Taking you back to where legends came alive. From ruthless roots to the studio scene. Classic tales that the world's never seen. Every Tuesday night we spark the heat. From 6 to 7, history on repeat. So sit back, tap in, and enjoy the vibe. If you love hip-hop, like and subscribe.
Yo, what up with you, Dusty?
What up, Lonzo? How you doing, man?
Oh, man, I'm good. I'm good. I can't complain about nothing. Just, like I say, fighting off this little last bit of head cold for 2025. Trying to go in 26, snot free. That's all.
Snot free. There you go. Well, let's go ahead and get it started, man. Shout out to the chat. Go ahead and hit that like button before you guys get uncomfortable. Sorry, there you go. Hit that like button before you guys get too comfortable. And if this is your first time joining the channel, you're in for a treat. Let's jump into it, Alonzo. I saw one of your comments on Facebook that I would love to dive a little bit deeper into. They were discussing DJs, and I believe DJs in Compton specifically, if I'm not mistaken. But your comment was, step aside, youngsters. The Godfather is in the house. Been rocking parties in-house since 1976. When Fred Flintstone put that bird's beak on the record, he was using my turntables. First turntables below, and he posted a picture below. Sony belt drive. Yes, it's one of the OG tables from Alpine Village. Go a little bit deeper into that, man.
Man, when I first started DJing back in 1976, first of all, I went to broadcast school in 75. I am a radio trained DJ. Bottom line, I was going for the radio. In the disco era, when I fresh out of high school, 1975, I was trained to be a DJ. I went to broadcast school, got my third class license, and things happened differently, and I became a club/street DJ. And when I first started DJing, there were no mixers of any type. If you didn't have a radio station type mixer, you couldn't be a DJ. If you started on a new mark, you're not an OG. You're a junior OG. You're not a triple OG, okay? When I first started DJing, there was no such thing as a disco mixer. Nowhere in Compton. I had to, and the only reason why I was able to do what I did is because the broadcast school that I went to had a band type mixer, but it was a radio mixer, but it was like a band and it had knobs on it. So I learned to use that first. So I used that in class. So when I got to rent the equipment, it looked familiar to me. The EQs, everything looked familiar. So I was mixing with knobs, and I bought 2 turntables. My daddy loaned me his credit card for one of my first gigs. I bought 2 Samuel belt drive turntables, plugged them into this mixer and the microphone, and I had a 6-channel input, and 3 of those channels was used for my turntables and mixer, and that's how it started, baby. It wasn't until about maybe a year or 2 later, I saw a mixer at Lafayette Electronics, not Radio Shack, Lafayette. Y'all don't know nothing about Lafayette. Lafayette been gone for 40 years. Lafayette had a mixer, and it had a turntable input, stereo turntable inputs, but it still had a knob on it. Crossfaders had not been brought into the picture yet. It still had a knob on it, but you can go left and right, and you didn't have to use a splitter to make your your left and right go into a stereo output. Because usually when I would use my turntables, I had to put an adapter on there and plug it in so I could get left and right through the channel. But this one right here allows you to have 2 RCAs in the back. You plug your turntable straight in, and it had a spot for 2 microphones, and you can EQ with a little knob. But yes, I've been doing this for a long time, baby. Me and Fred, I taught Fred how to play records.
So, all right, who were some of the radio DJs that you looked up to back then, Lonzo, before you went into the party DJ route?
The first one was Roland Bynum. Roland Bynum is still on KGLH right to this day. Roland Bynum got to be 80 years old. Roland Bynum got to be 80 years old. Got to be. Roland Bynum was playing at Campanella Park when I was 14. Roland Bynum, what was his name? Magnificent Montague, Hunter Hancock. All these guys were the guys on the radio that had shit popping in the streets. I think it was Hunter Hancock. He had a saying called "Burn, baby, burn." In the 1965 riots, he got fired. Now he'd been using it. He'd been using this slogan for so way before the riots, but the rioters adopted his slogan when they were setting shit on fire. So people was riding through the streets talking about "burn, baby, burn," and they called him into the station. He got fired. I'm like, dude, he ain't like no match. But as a kid, I thought that was the most unfair thing I've ever heard in my life. And I was about 8 years old then.
Okay. All right. So, I guess, what was the reason you went in the direction of the party route? Was it hard to get into radio back then? I mean, was it a tough gig? Talk to us about that backside of things.
At that time, you were not going to start on a radio station here in LA. It's not going to happen. They had different levels of radio stations. They had P1s, P2s. You'd have to start at the P2 station. Most P2 stations are up. At that time, there were a lot of them down south. They'll take anybody that want to sit there all night long. They'll start you at the midnight shift, and you work your way up, and you might start at, I say, midnight to 4 o'clock in the morning. But again, there weren't very many stations out here in California. So I was auditioned and got a job, was ready to be hired in Mississippi. Got a job, ready to be hired in Mississippi. That was part of the program. They sent out your resume, and because I was a rookie, had a third-class license, they'd give me a shot in Mississippi. But at that time, my mom was dying of cancer. It's in my book. My mom was dying of cancer, and I couldn't leave. You know, she was. I was one taking her back and forth to the chemo. So I ended up. I was going to El Camino College at the same time. I had a kid, and it was not a good time for me to leave California. And that's how you got Disco Lonzo.
There it is, player. All right, I want to play a clip from a down south legend hip hop artist by the name of Bun B from a rap group called UGK, Underground Kings, RIP to Pimp C. But Bun B says music from older rappers is needed now more than ever. Play this clip and we'll get your response.
Stay active, because the reality is that the people that supported us when we were 18, 19, 20 years old, those people are still here. Those people still love hip hop. They still love our music, but the music that's made by younger, modern artists doesn't really speak to them. Artists that are 20 years old today do not share many things in common with someone that's 50, 55, 60, in terms of responsibilities, in terms of obligations, family, all of those type of things. And so those people, they still love hip hop. They still want to go out to concerts. They still want to enjoy themselves. But a lot of modern music doesn't speak to that. So I would argue that we're more necessary than ever to the people that have supported us all of these years, because they're left in a musical void where nothing speaks to them. If we don't speak to them, no one does. And so that's why I feel it's very adamant that not only I, but all of my contemporaries stay active musically.
You were the first person I thought about when I heard that, man. Talk to me.
Me and my partner, Kool Moe Dee, had this same debate. Okay, man, he told me, man, nobody, kids don't want to hear hip hop. I told him like Bernie Mac, fuck them kids. The people that you grew up with, people that you rock with back in the day, they not kids no more. They just as old as we are. And I know they can't relate to this bullshit. That's why our files, our phones are filled with old shit that brought back good memories to us. My music format, man, probably stops at about, I ain't gonna say stops, but it probably peaks at about the mid 2000s. Even Little John, I love Little John and all that down south shit. Nelly, man, I loved all that shit. But the music of today is so geared for one generation, and you can't understand what they're saying. You can't relate to what they're talking about. That's why Turn Off the Lights is such a big hit for us, because a woman can relate to that song. I can't relate to I Love the Coco. I can't relate to none of the shit they're talking about right now, robbing people and shooting people. I can't relate to that. I can't. So you isolate a group of people, and that's why it's important that the people who are that's what makes music so popular, is because the artists represent a group of people that become fans. When you are Mary J. Blige, perfect example. I call Mary J. Blige the broken-hearted sister artist. She's the box wine broken. If you got your heart broke, get you a box of wine, get your girls on the phone, put Mary J. Blige on. She's gonna give you all the pain records. You're gonna cry. That's what she does. If you want to feel good at the barbecue, you grab some Frankie Beverly and Maze. Ain't nobody trying to fill them slots. Nobody. And you name me one artist. You would think that people have been watching people for this long as they've been watching artists do their thing, you would think that they would figure it out that, you know what, maybe I should try and go towards something that's not less violent, more uplifting, make people feel better, as opposed to something that's depressing. But nobody thinks like that. Most youngsters only think about what's going to be popular with their cohorts, and that's like the blind leading the blind. Blind leading the blind. You have never seen a coach be the same age as the players unless he was on the basketball. Unless it was a high school basketball team. I mean that. Period. You ain't never seen a coach the same age as the player. If you want to learn something, you got to go to somebody who's done something before. And he's absolutely correct. We are still very active. We still got money to spend. If you give us something new, we're gonna check it out if nothing else, because we're your fan. I tell you what, it's the Dramatics drop an album right now. I'm gonna check it out just to see what they're doing. If the Dramatics drop an album right now, I'm gonna check it out just to see what they're doing. They're one of my favorite groups. If Mo D drops something, I'm gonna check him out just to see what he's doing. But for some reason, hip hop has an age limit. And I don't understand that. Do you think because you stopped making records in the 80s and 90s, that the people that you made records for in the 80s and 90s are no longer alive? Think the whole generation just died? No, they got other things to do. They're not gonna party with you all night long. They got a good hot 20 minutes. They got a few cuts left for you. They got something for you. And you know, it's different, man. And I would encourage any artist. I'm doing it. I'm working on a project right now called Godfather Music. And that's what I do. That's what I'm, you know, and again, AI has allowed me to do that. Yeah, I'm cheating a little bit in the eyes of some, but all I want to do is get a point across. Make your head bob, move your feet. I was one of my girls that sent me the video, one of the songs that I produced. It's a line dance. People like to line dance. People like to have fun, but there's nothing for you to have fun with. That's why you got one song, Where Them Fans, that blew up. Because anybody had nothing since, nobody had a good line dance since, come on, man.
Yeah, what's the
line dance song?
Hip, everybody. Break it down. I know it in my head. Someone got it.
Last forever. They last forever.
Boom, 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 boom. Then they break down the congos and shit.
Yeah, Fat Girl, well, Big Girls, back it up. What's that? Big Girls, back it up. That motherfucker is 6, 7 years old, 8 years old. I was playing that shit at Eve After Dark when I was there. And Eve been closed for 5 years. And if you put it on right now, it's still gonna pack the flow. But nobody thinks about that. All they want to figure out was what Little Knucklehead, Little Nutsack is doing.
The Cha-Cha Slide.
Cha-Cha Slide. Thank you very much, folks.
Thank you.
Cupid Shuffle.
No, that was me.
Slide.
I got it. Yeah. I was like,
they ain't going. Them is classic. Could you imagine getting a publishing check on them motherfuckers? Could you imagine getting a publishing check on them?
Every wedding in the country. I mean, goddamn, everything.
Events, basketball games, football games, baseball games. They playing it, and when you get played in one of them saying you get your checks be fat. Your checks like a black eye. That's
my mission in life, and I think that's your mission in life also, is just to get that one thing. One thing that just
you don't need
lets me, I make $1 million in my sleep.
Come on, man. You just need one good one, dude. You don't need a whole bunch of them. You ain't got to be Mike. You ain't got to be Elvis. All you gotta do is hit one, man. Just get a good hit, have your shit in order. That's all you gotta do. And so many people, so many youngsters want to do things the bass backwards, okay? And but he's Bun B is totally correct, man. As an established artist, you need to have some new music out, and you need to have a way to sell it. I was watching Eric Sermon on a platform not long ago. He was talking to Fat Joe, and they were talking about artists need to have music and artists need to make music. See, here's something that people don't understand. The average artist today don't know what it is to sell music. Hear me when I'm saying it. The average artist don't know what it is to sell music. Yeah, you getting streams. 1,000 streams get you $5. 1,000 streams get you $5. 1,000 streams. The streams get you what? 0.003, 0.005, depending on the platform. That means you got to play that song 100 times to get a penny. If you ever see the Motown story with the Jackson 5, I think it's Motown story. They have Barry Gordy had a thing. He called his people in the office every Monday. He would ask them, would you rather buy this song or buy a sandwich? Based on today's musical content, it's going to be a lot of fat people. Ain't nobody going to buy that shit. Would you rather buy this song or buy a sandwich? I'm going to eat. And that's the difference. Streaming has lowered the bar to where people think they're successful, and you may get a lot of streams, but you ain't getting no money. Money comes from sales. Yes, every once in a while somebody get lucky. You get 1 million streams, you get a check for $5,000. That's a nice piece of change. You don't get it every month. You won't get it every month. $5,000, you won't get it every month. If I had to live on $5,000 every 3, 4, 5 months, I'd be homeless. Living in the back of my truck. So you have to make music that's going to sell. If you're an artist and you're making music and you're doing shows and people want to buy your music, don't send them to Spotify. That's stupid. Don't send them to Tidal. That's stupid. Here I go. Get the Band Buzz app and sell it right then and there. Once they leave your site, they're gonna forget about your ass. They're gonna forget about you. If you got something right there, I go to 7-Eleven sometimes. It's always somebody trying to sell me a CD or something. CDs are optional. They're no longer valid. Okay? They're no longer. I got a CD burner in my studio right now. I ain't burned a CD in 5 years. Okay, I'm thinking about donating it to a church or something because it's in my way. But if you have an app like BandBuzz, I'm not this is a BandBuzz commercial, but it wasn't supposed to be. You can actually have people scan your music, hear your music, and buy your music right there. They're like, that's a dope song. I'm gonna support you. That's what you want. You want support. You don't want streams. You want sales. You don't want streams. Streams are fine for your ego. They don't do shit for your bank account and your stomach when you get hungry. Take your ass out to the bank and say, you know what? I got 5,000 streams. I got $25 coming in about 30 days, minus 30%. What can we do with that? Not a goddamn thing. But go do a show and do a hot show in your family. You know, they'll buy your T-shirt, they'll buy your record, all that. I want to be, man. What you got, man? What you got? Join your, you got to know how to grind this shit, man. Everybody where I go, I get their email address. That's why I got a big ass following. I have my own newspaper. I got an email address. I get people email addresses. I keep in contact with them. That's what I'm doing. I'm dropping my Godfather music right after the first of the year. It's grown man music. It ain't for everybody. I ain't for everybody. Ain't nobody for everybody. You might like it, you might not. But that's how I was feeling when I made this album. So, and somebody, and here's the crazy part, as many people that might not like it, it may be some that love it. Man, you heard that new shit by Lonzo? That shit is so dope. I got one song, every time I play it, people cry. I got one song, every time I play it with somebody, they start tearing up. Now, if a song can touch you like that, that's the sign of a hit record. Every song I've heard, I ain't gonna say every song, most of the songs I've heard brought tears to my eyes, not because I felt something, That shit was so goddamn bad. I wasted my fucking time. Anyway, man, but Bun B is straight up and correct. White boys, they die on stage, man. Like who I just saw it a minute ago in the chat room.
What was that?
They were talking about how many Metallica and Rolling Stones and all these acts.
Oh, that pay well. Does touring still pay well? I think was the question.
Touring still pays well, man. Look, what is well? Okay.
Shout out Vista Light.
What is pay well? Okay. If you can get, I'm gonna say small money. Depending on who you are, where you gotta go. Now, if you're home, if you're local, you'll get it. You can probably get if you got any kind of following. And here's the trick. This is why I tell people you have to be bigger than just what somebody's going to give you. If you can't draw a crowd, which means you have to make people want to get in their cars, go to the venue, put money in the hands of the promoter, walk in the door to see you do your thing. If you can't do that, you have no value. No touring will not do you any good. But if you're trying to build a clientele and you're able to get on the show and perform and get some record sales, some T-shirt sales, whatever the case may be. Man, I've been on gigs. I sold more T-shirts and books than I did getting paid. It's not just about the music. It's about you. Once you become an artist, you are a commodity. Y'all not thinking about this the right way. You're not just a music person. You're a T-shirt man. You're a book man. You're a cap man. You are all these things that people can purchase to support you. They may already have your music. That don't mean they still don't want to support you. If they already got all your songs, they can't buy it. What else you got, man? I said that, but that's true. What else you got, Lonzo? I got a book. How much is that? For you? This is my price right here. Oh shit! Give me your book. And with these
something tangible,
with this shit right here, all you gotta do is tap it, and your money's in your account. You don't need no change. I mean, I used to go to events and go to the store or go to the bank and have me a bunch of ones and a bunch of fives. I did that shit recently. I went to did a book signing downtown LA, and I had to stop by the bank the day before and got me a bunch of fives and ones and shit, fives and tens. And I'm like, and I went home that night. I still had them fives and tens. Ain't nobody paying with cash. Everybody hitting you on your Cash App or your Zelle. What's your Zelle, man? So your money's automatically there before they walk away. You ain't got to worry about getting robbed. A robber got to have your Zelle account to get your money. So yeah, man, the game has changed. And even when I was selling books, I first started selling books 10 years ago, I had to take somebody with me because sometimes my I had a little square swiper, it would get stuck, it wouldn't read sometimes. So one person was getting the money, I was signing the books. I don't need that no more. Bam, tap it, sign the book, keep on going. Bam, sign the book, keep on going. It's a whole different game these days, folks. So if you're not having multiple products, the most you might need somebody to help you to sort the products out as far as the T-shirts. You got T-shirts, whatever the case may be. Hey man, I need somebody looking for the largest or the small, whatever you don't have, that's what they're gonna ask you for. Trust me. Whatever you don't have, that's what they're gonna ask you. That's why I don't like T-shirts, because you gotta have them the sizes. But if you got a bunch of hats, come on, man. It's a whole different situation. So I'm working on some shit right now to put on some hats.
So yes, there is a way to make money.
Your job is to get money from them into your pocket, and you can't do it. And most of the old artists, the only thing you have is your name. The company owns all your masters. Most of the guys don't own their masters, man. All you have is your name and your potential fan base. You can take that, rebuild it, solidify it through getting the contact information, and just email people a sample of your latest track. Hey man, this is my latest album, man. Check me out. People will buy it just to support you because you're doing some good work.
Facts.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself short. You are worth something. Someone that you out there, you are worth something. So put a price on it and make some money out of it.
Prince said a long time ago. He was asked about Mariah Carey's deal. Mariah Carey just got a $20 million deal, and by the time she got through, she won't get $20 million. Janet Jackson, she got their $15 million deal. She won't get $15 million. They give you the money on the front page, and they got 39 pages to take away from your ass. By the time you get to your signature, you're broke. They give you a check in the beginning, but in order for you to get that $15 million, you got to jump through all kind of hoop goals, whatever the case may be, and in most cases, not attainable. Most of them are not attainable. But if you're able to sell 200,000 records at $50 a piece, you sell them at $10 a piece. 20,000 at $10 a piece. That's 200 racks. The math do itself. The math do itself. $10 a piece at 20,000. My manager, Swamp Dogg, I talked to him the other day. He is 80, my former manager, I should say. He's 83, 84 years old. He's doing a show tomorrow night at the Roxy. If it's not raining, I plan to be there. And he told me a long time ago, why are you worried about what Michael Jackson do, what Prince do? All you got to do is find you 10, 15,000 people that want to give you $10 a piece. You'll make a good living. Most artists don't understand that. Everybody want to be the next Chris Brown, the next Usher. That's fine to have their aspirations, but the reality of the matter is, are you dancing like him? Are you gonna be the next Dr. Dre? Ain't been a Dr. Dre since Dr. Dre. Why are you gonna be him? Now you have an action just like anybody else does, but the probability, not really. As long as you're breathing, you got action, but the probability. So find you a niche and wear it out. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Just find you a niche, what works for you, and wear it out.
Grown ass men enlightenment. Spitting game tonight, Lonzo. We're about halfway through the show, so I'm gonna remind everybody to hit that like button if you have not already. Please hit that like button. It really helps out the algorithm. It lets YouTube know that we exist, and we appreciate it more than you know. So please hit that like button. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like some real authentic West Coast hip hop history and some grown ass men enlightenment, you are tuned into the right place. N.W.A. Stories with Lonzo. Hit that subscribe button, and please join us every Tuesday, usually around the 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And join me after this show, right after the show at 7 p.m. on my channel. I'll post the link in the description. Tonight, Lisa Rodriguez, aka Carla from Next Friday, will be on my show. The Fly, like yes, that's the reaction that that most people usually have to her. Cube has really been good at picking some fly ladies for his movies, especially the Friday series. And Lisa Rodriguez is probably my favorite. So she's going to talk about Mike Epps hitting on her on set. She's going to talk about how much money she made from Ice Cube on that movie and what's next. And she talks about her OnlyFans. So you definitely want to tune in. Dusty Vision TV right after this show. And like Lonzo said earlier, Band Buzz. If you are an aspiring artist, please download the app. Even if you just want to support the channel, download the app, tell a friend about it. Band Buzz, BANDBUZZ. All right, Lonzo, let's move on. Something else I would love your thoughts on, man. Snoop Dogg has been going viral this week. He says he's leaving the gang culture behind him. Apparently he had a interaction with Christ and he's changing. So let's listen to what Snoop says on leaving the gang culture behind.
Well, I had to leave the gang culture behind because it was so connected to who I was, being an ex-gang member, and then having that in my music, having that in my lifestyle. So some of the things I had to learn how to gradually go away from was becoming a burden, because some of these guys were my friends and my homies, and I thought I needed them, and I thought they were making me go. But as I grew and got further and further up in the game, I say that they were more baggage and more of a liability than an asset. And when you learn to be a businessman, it's not personal for me to tell you, hey, Ryan, I love you, but we can't kick it no more, dog. I'm on this path and you're on that path. Just like we had to make that decision when we became football players. when we became whatever we became, we had to make a decision of this baggage right here. But I had to
Talk to me, Lonzo.
Congratulations. It took you 52 years to figure it out. It took you 52 years to figure it out. This is, I saw him at Super Bowl event. He's all red. He's all red, like Santa Claus. Okay, I ain't tripping. But I saw some of the comments under his Super Bowl halftime show. And I'm like, dude, are you serious? Not Snoop per se, but some of the people that was in the comments. Oh, you done flipped on the hood, you done tripped. Man, come on. Are you serious? If you don't have nothing else in your life that's happened in the last 20 years that can make you a better person, you still got to hang on to something you did when you was a youngster. I played baseball for the Gardena Stars when I was 13 years old. I did that. I ain't a star. I played on the Braves, the Continental Park. I ain't a Brave no more. Okay? I'm a former Brave from 1967, 68, whatever it was. But as you grow older, some things got to change, man. The date on the calendar changes every day. You're supposed to be changing too. You're changing every day. I was talking to my buddy earlier, right before the phone call, before we did this show, and I was telling him, I said, man, back in the day, it was over 100 clubs in Los Angeles, man. Over 100 clubs. You could party anywhere, any day of the week. Multiple opportunities to go get your groove on. Multiple opportunities to meet women. Multiple opportunities to do all kind of things in the city of Los Angeles. Nowadays, by 11:30, ain't nothing popping, but ain't nothing open, but 7-Eleven and 8 a.m. p.m. And maybe the drive-through in and out. You want to know why? Every club, for the most part, has gone out of business because of gang activity. I was listening to a guy on Facebook. He was talking about all the strip clubs in Gardena. All of them gone. All of them gone. King Henry, Stars, First King, Barbary Coast, they're all gone because somebody got shot, somebody got beat up, somebody got up in the club. And once you get hit, get that on you, ain't nobody coming through there no more. Ain't nobody coming through there no more. And that stigma and that attitude has been a plague to the Black community for a long time, man. Long time. Snoop is a global figure. Global figure. Global with a big old capital G. Okay? He ain't an OG, he a G-O. He can't be associated with that kind of negativity, man. You know how much money that would cost him? First thing he said was in the Super Bowl 22 was "Carib." First thing came out of his mouth. The next day, brothers that I know who were 50s, whatever the case may be, mentioned that to me. We talked about that. How can he do that, man? We supposed to be past that by now. What good did that really do? What was the purpose of doing that? So when you're a global ambassador and you're selling potato chips, you're selling beer, you're selling car insurance, you're selling everything that people can consume, and when you have that gang affiliation, guess what? You inadvertently selling gangbanging too. You're inadvertently selling, huh? If you can promote products like that, Snoop been a spokesperson since he was on the Chrysler 300 commercials with Lee Iacocca trying to play golf. I remember the commercial very well. Snoop could not play golf. That's obvious by the way he swung them clubs. But he got the line straight. They got a good take, and he made him some money. He been doing that shit ever since then. But every time you throw up that sign, every time you wear them blue clothes, dude, that's just perpetuating the stereotype that don't make you no money. gonna make you no money, man. Being a gang affiliate don't pay nothing. Don't pay nothing. Okay? No, there's no residual in revenue. But again, like he said, it can hurt you in the long run. Because some cats think it's a fraternity to tap into your income. Or you ain't what you did for the hood. Well, what am I supposed to do for the hood? I've been gone 25 years. What have you done for the hood? You still here. You know, he didn't had basketball leagues. The boy has done a lot. He's had football leagues, put some folks through the NBA, he put some people on. He's done a lot. He's done what he could. Now, I ain't around to know all the intricate parts of his business. But what I've seen on the surface, he's done a lot for a lot of people. Now, no matter what you do for some people, they don't remember what you did for them, especially if you told them no.
They remember what you didn't do for them that one time.
No, everything else went out the window. He told me no. I asked him, can I bone his daughter? He told me no. Nigga, all that buying me a house and buying me a car don't mean. I ain't saying that's what happened. I'm just saying, getting you how ridiculous it is. You want to do something, man? We borrow your strap. Man, you can't use my gun. Nigga told me no. I had to handle some business with the homies. He told me I couldn't borrow his gun. Nigga. But that's what they remember. That's what they remember first. All the good shit goes out the window. Don't mean nothing to nobody. Let you do something, tell them no for the first time, and have a good reason for not doing it. And that's when you become the devil. And that's all they will ever remember on your ass. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know.
Man, I think we all experienced that one the hard way, Lonzo, especially when you really want to help out people, man.
You know, I've been a giver all my life. I don't receive that much, though.
Facts.
I've been a giver all my life. If I wasn't a giver, I wouldn't be Godfather of West Coast hip hop. I gave to everybody that came my way. Ain't nobody returned the favor. I wasn't expecting. I would like for it to be returned, but I don't expect it because my old man always taught me, when you give something, you don't expect a return. If you're giving it from your heart, you don't expect a return. And here's the crazy part. A lot of times we get returned for people that you didn't even give to. I've had blessings that came from people that I did not even really know, more so from people that I've actually helped. And that's not just talk about the music industry. People just in general. People that, man, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I think I might have told you, but I'm gonna tell you again. Hollywood Park Casino. I just opened up my club on the 5th floor, Club Hall of Fame. I'm in there reading and having a good time, but the Hollywood Park Casino had 2 rules, almost drove me broke. 1, the first fight you have, you're out. 2nd, no jeans allowed, no tennis shoes. This is when the jeans and tennis shoe code was starting to relax everywhere else, but not at Hollywood Park Casino. I was advertising on KGLH, spending good money. People were showing up because it was a nightclub in the casino. But I was turning away anywhere from, 75 to 150 people a night because either they had on jeans or tennis shoes. And I'm putting out money, but I'm barely getting enough money to make it. My profit is going back down the elevator, going around the corner to the Savoy, because the Savoy didn't have that same dress code. I was struggling. And a dude fell in the club. I never saw him before. And my cousin introduced me to him. He kind of liked my cousin a little bit. And we got to kicking it. Hey, man, I like what you're doing here, man. It's really a nice club. What's the problem? I said, man, just got to get some more marketing bucks and get this dress code relaxed. By the time we got the dress code relaxed, my money was light. My money was real light. And a couple of weeks later, he came back. He gave me an envelope. In that envelope was a cashier's check for $5,000. I didn't know that. I can't think of this man's name right now. Gave me a cashier's check for $5,000. I didn't know what was on it. Nigga, what is this for? I don't really do partners so much. I said I can't get you this back. He said, don't worry about it. I do real well in the industry, in real estate, and I think you're a good investment. Are you serious? Took it to the bank, and that son bitch cleared. He came back a few weeks later. We was rocking like a son of a gun. All I could do was shake his hand and buy him a drink. And I didn't see him. I ran into him again about 2 years ago on Facebook. I looked him up, and he had to remind me who he was. This is how unfamiliar I was with his face. I wouldn't know his face unless he said something about it right to this day. But I said all to say this. Because I've been known to pay it forward, some people see that as a blessing, and people who are into paying forward tend to pay it before the people who actually got paid for doing it. If I follow what I'm saying.
It's been that game tonight, Lonzo. Let's break down another clip. That actually, you know what? I would love your thoughts on this. Actually, it's just kind of around the same topic of what we've been talking about tonight. So let's jump into it. Shout out to Bomb First, Reggie Wright over there. They do a lot of good content, some interesting stuff. Today, I was looking at a clip where Mob James, and I don't have the clip queued up, but I would still love your thoughts on the general subject. Mob James said that Suge Knight got his, quote, gangsta from his money. When you hear something like that, what are your thoughts?
Very possible. Very possible. People that knew him before he got paid, he was a real cool guy. He was a bit of a bully, but he wasn't the monster he became. And when he was able to hire monsters to put money in people's pockets, he was able to get more notorious. This is we didn't really run together. He's a little younger than I am, but I know people from Linwood High School that knew him. And he football player. He wasn't really he may have been affiliated, but he wasn't into it like that the perception came. You think that based on his perception that he was the general of Ma Pyru, and that was never the case. But again, having a fat ass checkbook, you can hire a whole lot of friends. You got a whole lot of friends.
Yeah.
And as money diminished, after that two piece by Homeboy, that kind of brought things back down to a normal level.
Because up until that point, we thought he was indestructible. We thought no one could take him down. And to physically see him on the ground, I remember that. And that was a big deal. And I think that was before YouTube and all that. It was just some video. I don't know how we saw it or where we came across it.
Somebody videotaped it. And, for the first time, the emperor has no clothes. I never really knew the dude. I mean, we crossed paths a couple times, but I didn't know him beforehand. And I met him. He was already balling out of control, and he knew of me. But I couldn't speak on his. I couldn't speak in depth on his history because, again, but I would say Mob James does have a point.
We've had Reggie Wright on the show. You've interviewed his father. You knew him very well back in the day. You talked about your relationship with him and what you think about him. But what do you remember about what the streets and what everyone else thought about the Reggie Wrights, and both father and son?
The father was well respected for sure, because he knew enough guys in the streets. He knew that certain people you can talk to that can get things done. They respected him, and because he wasn't always an asshole, he knew my first name. That he made sure he knew my first name. So when he showed up at Dudo's, that's when I met him. All he had to do was be around the front door. What's up, so and so? What's up, Reggie? What's up, so and so? What's up, detective? What's up, so and so? What's up, detective? All right, I'm here. All right, man, no problem. It's gonna be cool. That right there, as being right behind Pyru as the promoter, that was a very comforting feeling, Doc, to have somebody who knew all the potential troublemakers by first name. They knew him, and they sometimes Compton PD would have a car just posted up, kept all bullshit line.
Shout out to the Wrights. Now, let me ask you this, Lonzo. I have this clip here of MC Ren and why he didn't attend Eazy's funeral. I would love your thoughts on this. Shout out to ruthlessfamily.com, ruthlessmemories.com. Here's just a small clip of MC Ren talking about why he didn't go to Eazy-E's funeral.
So, he was telling me like, man, it's crazy up there, man. It's like a circus and all of that. And I was like, nah, I didn't even go, man. You know, I was just like at home, you know, training just passed, and I'm at home, and I'm like, man, you know, at that time, man, I was like, I wouldn't, like, I didn't want to go to no funerals, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, man, I was like, damn, you know, two of them, like, that fast, like, boom, boom.
Said two of them, meaning the MC Train and Eazy-E, just passing, you know, back to back, and he didn't want to go to the funeral because it was a circus. What are your thoughts on that? Oh, the hospital. I'm sorry, the hospital, not the funeral. My mistakes. He never visited Eazy in the hospital.
The hospital was a circus. I went to the funeral. The funeral was not that bad. It for that era, it was kind of wild, put it that way. This is pre-social media, everybody got a camera in their pocket type situation. So between the regular media and people just wanted to be seen, it got a little chaotic. I never have to be seen. I never have to be in the picture. I don't really care. If I get a picture, fine. If I don't, I'm cool too. I went to show respect for the brother. And I saw how many people that was there with demo tapes in their hands. Everybody figured it was going to be a lot of record folks there. And, you know, check out my demo, man. Check out my demo. And you know, people are opportunists, you know. Me and Adrian set up in the balcony of the church and just, you know, watched everybody who was on there. You know, it was a spectacle. It was interesting, Doc. It wasn't as crazy as it would be now. But for that time, yes, it was a mess.
You know, random question since you brought up his name, Atron Gregory. Shout out to Atron, friend of the show, longtime friend of Lonzo's, decades of friendship there. He was a one-time manager of Tupac Shakur. What do you remember, Lonzo, of around the time when Pac passed and how it affected Atron Gregory?
I do believe when Pac passed, Atron and I hadn't talked for a while. We talked about it later on, though. During that time, because Atron wasn't managing Pac when Pac passed. He was officially all death row, and we didn't talk about that for quite some time. Now I think about it, it was like a little brother, man. For him, him and Pac was super tight. You know, he was surprised that you know, a little disappointed that he went to death row, but he kind of felt that it may have been an issue. Hold on, let's ask him. Shit, fuck that. Let's not guess.
There we go. Give him a call.
Guess. Let me see let me if I can get him on the phone right quick.
See if Atron Gregory, legendary music manager for Tupac, amongst others, did Digital Underground. Really, really interesting story. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. And make sure you put him on speaker, Lonzo, if you
okay.
If he answers.
Can you hear my phone? You hear my phone ringing?
I can't hear. Nah.
Okay, let me see if I can make it that straight right now. Okay. Oh shit! I didn't want to do that. Anyway, he didn't answer, so we can't make that phone call today.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, shout out to Atron. We'll get him on a future show. No.
You can't hear me because you didn't say nothing. All right. We still good, right? Nope. I messed that one up too. What about now? Okay, cool. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't want to put his phone. Yeah, but yeah,
Okay.
we got to cut that out, Doc. When we get a chance to, we got to knock that out.
What's that now? Say it again.
I didn't want his phone number to be on the air like that.
Oh, I didn't. It never came across, right? Did anybody hear anything? Let us know honestly, and if you did,
Okay,
we'll definitely edit it out.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear anything personally, and I don't think anyone in the chat did. But someone confirmed, one of the OGs in the chat confirmed with us. You guys didn't hear a phone number go out the air, did you? If so, we got to make sure to take that down. Yep. All right, we'll wait for an answer. Someone else that you know personally, Lonzo. We still don't. Nope, no one heard it. All right, we good. All right, cool. Big A actually made a comment. I think it was an Instagram comment or something along the lines of Eazy-E and some unreleased music with Guns N' Roses. Did you ever know anything about that? Did he ever talk to you about that?
I heard that was done, and don't know what happened to it. Him and Axl Rose was tight.
Yeah.
Jerry and somehow Jerry had a connection with Axl, and him and Eazy got together, and I think they were trying to do a Run DMC Eazy, Run DMC Walk This Way type thing.
Walk This Way.
Yeah. So I don't know.
That would have been hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, there was even a lot of rock elements and a lot of Dre's tracks that he used for N.W.A. Back in the day. Obviously, rock is a big element of hip hop when it comes to certain sounds, but I feel like they've always had that influence. Do you know anything about other music that they listened to, like Dre specifically? Back in the day, what do you remember Dr. Dre listening to or Ice Cube listening to?
Couldn't tell you that. Dre was a big hip hop head. He loved anything Herbie Love Bud did. That was his shit. He loved anything LL Cool J did. Can't speak on Cube at all. Cube was a youngster when he was around me. He was like 16, 15, 16. Whatever I listened to, that's what he was listening to.
All right. Let's see. Art Chavez had a question. Lonzo, how come House Calls or Cabbage didn't make the album cut?
Because that was in between our CBS deal and McCullough. When we left CBS, we had just dropped a full album, and CBS held us so long that only thing you heard from that album was The Fly. And by the time they cut us loose, my money was short, and I had to I wanted to do something, so we dropped an EP, and that's how you got Cabbage Patch, House Calls, and Must Be the Music. Excuse me. And we dropped that, dropped that on the as an EP, just to try and stay busy, man. That was like a filler cut, and then it was all right, but House Calls, not House Calls, but Cabbage Patch took off, but nothing else did. And then last but not least, we dropped Turn Up the Lights, and that's the one that got us back on track. Like I told them was going to do in the first place.
Write that down.
Well, we was always debating, man. It was always, oh my God. Again, this is a perfect example of people not understanding what side the bread is buttered on. When World Class Record Crew dropped Surgery Juice, the World Class album, the only cut that got the most airplay was Lovers. It was Lovers. Yes, Juice was a good club song. Surgery was too. But the one that got us the most response was Lovers. So to appease the fellas, we did an EP, and that was House Calls, Cabbage Patch, and Must Be the Music. And Cabbage Patch got a little buzz, but nothing else really took off. House Calls, we did a few shows on that, but it didn't take off. And we never performed Must Be the Music because nobody could really sing. We kind of did that shit karaoke style. I was gonna sing it for the last show we did. I've been rehearsed it the whole time until they cut our time down to 20 minutes as opposed to 30 minutes. I had to break out my little singing debut. But it didn't. That whole EP didn't do a whole lot, and I wanted to prove a point. And Turn Up the Lights was me proving that point. They wanted to hear something else from us slow. We'd already established that. We have been, just like I said earlier, you don't know who your fan base may be. People gravitated towards that song, Turn Off the Lights. Okay? Men, women, Latino, black, don't make no damn difference. And that's how we blew up. But yeah, we just dropped that EP just to have something to do. Like I think we mentioned that before on another show, that sometimes people would do that just as a filler, especially independent, till you drop your next album.
All right, Lonzo, 2025 is done. 2026 is here. Drop some game, Lonzo, some grown-ass men enlightenment to the folks out there. Doesn't matter if they're young, old, in between. Any words of wisdom from Lonzo Williams leaving 2025 into 2026?
You know, people always make New Year's resolutions. And I was told, don't wait until New Year's to make your resolution. Whatever changes you're going to make for the next year, you got to kind of get a head start in the previous year. And it takes 21 days to make or break a habit. Don't wait till New Year's Eve to give up cigarettes or whatever you're going to give up, or start doing something that you could have started in early December. So now, New Year's Eve is a part of your everyday schedule. I know it's a little late right now, but I was always told, if you're going to do some kind of New Year's resolution, start it early. If you're going to make some changes for the new year, start it early. Start it, around early November, mid-November, after Thanksgiving. Give yourself a chance to go through the changes, the difficulties during the holiday season. So by the time the new year hit, you already be adjusted. Your body would have been adjusted. Your mind would have been adjusted. Your attitude would have been adjusted. You could go into the new year and fulfill your resolution, because so many people make great resolutions and they hold up shit. Maybe till Valentine's Day, if they're lucky. Most of them don't make it to Martin Luther King birthday. Most resolutions don't make it to MLK birthday. So if you really want to do something for yourself, learn to set you a date. And just like when you start to run, you don't run with your feet side by side. You put one leg behind and push off. Same thing here. Push off in early December. Late November, early December. So by the time you get to running, you get to hit that line at New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, you can fly across the finish line.
We got a lot of people who stuck out with us this year, Lonzo, 2025. I see a lot of the same names now today in December 30th, 2025 that we saw on December 30th, 2024 a year ago. What do you want to say to our audience out there, man? The ones who stick by us. We have a pretty loyal audience, man. I don't want to start naming names and leaving people out, but if you hear what I'm saying, you know exactly who I'm talking about. But what do you want to say to them, Lonzo?
Y'all make it worth coming here every Tuesday at 6 o'clock, folks. Y'all make it worth my time to come here every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Sit here and kick it with y'all. I read your comments over here. I post them as I get a chance to. Dusty's reading them, and we appreciate your support. That's real talk. You could be someplace else doing something totally different, but you chose this hour from 6 to 7 to spend with me and Dusty, and I appreciate it. I know he does too.
Well, Steph, I really enjoy this, and shout out to the chat. And once again, we got a lot of stuff coming up for 2026. We're going to keep this pushing. So if you enjoy what you heard in 2025, it's only going to get better in 2026. Hopefully in 2026, we can see Lonzo back on stage, man. You got any performances coming up or any performances planned?
Not as of yet. I haven't booked anything as of yet. My big thing right now for 2026 is to book more speaking engagements as well, Doc. I love sharing my information, sharing my knowledge, sharing my history. So I'm looking to come to a college, university. High school, it's a little tight, but I can make it work. But for the most part, college and universities is my goal for 2026 is to book me some regular gigs.
There it is. Talk to your local colleges out there. And if you can make the connection, hit Lonzo up on his email. Really appreciate you guys. We're going to wrap it up for the night. Please join me on my channel. We have 25 people right now. I want you all to join me on my channel now. I'm going to post the link in the description. I'm going to be talking to Carla from next Friday. Fly ass Carla, man. We're going to be talking Ice Cube, Mike Epps, Debo, all of the above. So please join me now on my channel. Lonzo, any last words? You want to hit him with that outro?
For those who never heard of me, I'm the first one to put Dr. Dre into surgery. Stuck Ice Cube in the freezer until he got cold on the eve after dark, 50-yard line at the Super Bowl. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, they played me like a hater of a rap. Don't believe in Hollywood bullshit, because it was all cap. My history goes deeper than you will ever know. Just remember that N.W.A. stands for Not Without Alonzo. Peace, y'all. Happy New Year, folks. We out of here.
Welcome to N.W.A. story with Lonzo, the godfather of the West Coast. Now you know, with Dusty Vision on the side, we ride, taking you back to where legends came alive. From ruthless roots to the studio scene, classic tales that the world's never seen. Every Tuesday night we spark the heat, from 6 to 7, history on repeat. So sit back, tap in, and enjoy the vibe. If you love hip hop, like and subscribe.